Essidor, we have a huge problem. Is that a threat? It doesn't sound very Christian of you, Vanessa. It's not a threat, it's a warning. You wouldn't want to be confronted by my dad because he can get really scary when he needs to be. How is it an accusation when the facts are laid before me? Screw you, Gianni. Have a fun day at work. How ironic, Heidi. Funny how you're not the only one screwing me. I knew it wouldn't take you long to come crawling back to me. Having me meet you here better be worth it. Did you not listen to what I said over the phone? I did, and I only stopped by so you wouldn't blow up my phone all day. What scares you so much about Finnegan being a part of this documentary? I'm worried that the media will not only look into my husband, but that they'll keep digging for dirt, eventually finding out what I did. And my own wife refuses to support me in making Essidor pay for the consequences of his actions. Worst of all, she has the nerve to call me immature. Try to keep in mind that she's not the one who ran and told Essidor about the idea. Besides, I thought we weren't allowed to talk about her. That was before she made me mad. Besides, I wouldn't count her out for working with my backstabbing brother just to upset me. Well, you've got no proof of it, Gianni. In this case, she's not the enemy. Maybe Heidi wants you to do something better in order to impress your parents. Get your eyes checked, Finnegan. I'm clearly not crawling back anywhere, especially since I'm standing on my own 2 feet. Most of all, I didn't call you to hook up with you, but you told me never to come back here. I told you that I would wait for you to pick up where we left off. Do you know what I think, Heidi? I think you came here so that I could convince you to break out of your shell. Are you gonna tell Dad that Max Russo approached you again? As long as Max got the message, then I won't have to. Do you really think that he'll take you serious if you don't tell Dad at all? You told me that Dad literally asked you to let him know if Max Russo approached you again. Did he? Just cool out. As long as you're not going crazy with anxiety, then it will get less people to look at you weird. I am staying calm. How long do you think that's gonna last after your husband's face is shown on the documentary, which will most likely gain a lot of viewers? Besides, this documentary has nothing to do with the crime you committed against my family. Do you really think that I'm overreacting? Some documentaries dig deep into the victim's family and stumble across unexpected facts. That right there proves how certain I am that you're overreacting. Do us both a favor and get a grip. What can top a scholarship in my late sister's name? Essidor manipulated my parents by playing with their emotions. Trust me, Quinlan, I know I could build a statue that resembles Elvira. The problem will be that my parents will think that I'm only trying to compete with Essidor and will get angry at me for using Elvira's memory to do so. They're gonna eventually not be as enthusiastic about the scholarship as much as they are now. When that happens, it will be your turn to wow them. When it comes to my parents and how much they adored Elvira, that's gonna take a while. I'm not willing to wait that long. Maybe that's where your wife is coming from. It sounds like she wants you to play the long game when it comes to this situation. I wouldn't even be in this position if Isidore didn't steal my idea. Instead of my parents praising him for it, they would be praising me. On top of that, their praise would be expected since I'm the oldest. That's the thing, Gianni. You're the oldest, and Isidore definitely can't take that away from you. Just because I'm the oldest, that means I should just let Isidore get away with what he's done and do something better with my life? I didn't call you over to convince me to sleep with you. Enlighten me, Heidi. What am I doing here? Supposedly. You're here to answer my questions. What sort of questions? When we were involved, you never told me what drew me to you. The two of us just happened. I didn't think you need any explanation like that. Back then, I noticed how confident, intelligent, and hot you were. You were my sort of woman. I don't remember you ever calling me hot. Again, you didn't need me to tell you that. The goal was to show you how I saw you. Since we're reminiscing, what drew you to me? It's only fair that you answer my question, since I answered yours. Alright, you were this young detective who was fearless, mature, and you seemed not to be bored whenever we would have a conversation. And I'm still not bored. Do you still see me as being fearless and mature? Dad, that's who I am. Has that boy been bothering you again? Dad, please. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal when someone is harassing you. I'm not going to stand by and let someone harm you. To be honest, I think Vanessa's been harming him. He's not harming me, Dad. Sure, he's annoying, but he's not harming me. And I don't think he would do it intentionally. But you want him to leave you alone, right? Yes, but it's handled. I told him that if he tries to pursue me again, I'd go to you. Except I told you that if he tried to mess with you again, then come to me as soon as possible. You clearly don't seem to understand how this documentary will have a negative impact, not only on me, but on the both of us. Here's my advice to you, Terry. Stress less about the documentary, be more happy about the scholarship. This documentary is more beneficial than you think. I can understand how it would be beneficial for your family, but what about mine? This documentary will shine a light on the scholarship. People will be happy to see that you had something to do with it and could never imagine what sort of monster you really are. I'm not a monster. In fact, the only one who would be compared to a monster is you. Except I'm not the one who did one simple act that would hurt a lot of people. On top of that, I didn't do something that would make me lose my medical license. Think about the positive. Are you really saying that you don't see yourself as a monster? My hands are clean. All I did is figure out what you did and use it to my advantage. The sort of punishment you should be thankful of having. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how you're more concerned about this documentary bringing attention to the scholarship, an idea that you stole from your own brother, instead of being concerned about how this documentary could bring awareness to your sister's case. You can do whatever you think is best, Gianni. All I'm trying to do is get you to consider where your wife is coming from. No matter what you do, you know I've got your back. Only if my wife would offer me as much support as you do. Not only that, but only if she offered an inkling. Seems like you can't bring yourself to admit it. Admit what? Sounds like you value your wife's opinion and support more than you think. What I realized is that you're a man who's full of himself. Guilty, Madam DA. But seeing you as the police commissioner I still see how fearless you are. Where is this desire to reminisce coming from? Did Gianni do or say something to you? I still remember how I would be the first person you would call when he would get on your nerves. Do you honestly care, Finnegan? Or are you just willing to listen to me vent so that you can get me into bed? Neither of us are in our homes or in a hotel room. I can't get you to bed even if I tried. Dad, please leave it alone. Kisa kigen. It's that Max Russo boy. He still hasn't stopped bothering you, Vanessa? He's not bothering me. But you scrunch up your face whenever you see him or talk about him. Can you be quiet? Mom, can't you just tell Dad not to worry about it? I'm still here. Dad, confronting Max will only make things worse. Do you really think that he'll get the message if something's not done about this? Don't you dare question what I feel about my sister's case. She was my sister, not yours. Is that it? You just want me to accept that Finnegan will be a part of this documentary and that the media will be interested in learning about my family? Like I told you, the documentary will only lead to people stumbling across the scholarship. As for Elvira's case, it's been unsolved for 20 years. I've accepted that it will most likely remain one of life's greatest mysteries. I'll admit that there are still some traits which I respect about my wife. What sort of traits? She's a very intelligent woman. The problem is that she lacks companionship. It's clearly not the reason why we're still married. What about when your son Max reaches adulthood? I'm not only staying for Max's sake. Our social status also isn't the only reason we've remained married for this long. It's the fact that we tolerate each other is what's keeping us together this whole time. Spill. Does Gianni not realize what's right in front of him? He's ungrateful for what's right in front of him. Not only that, but it's like he thinks I'm useless. That can't be true. Wanna bet? Then Gianni must be blind. You, Heidi Russo, are a lot of things. Feisty, ambitious, and passionate. Useless is not a word that anyone should describe you as. Dad, he's already got the message. Then let's make sure that we're 100% sure about that.